Good evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsat, and we at Art Television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. In order to receive the second tranche, Sri Lanka needs to fulfill two obligations, IMF mission asserts. President predicts a break-even in the economy by the end of the year. Government to increase education spending for next year, Subject Minister says. News in detail. IMF Chief of Missions Peter Brewer said that people of Sri Lanka has shown remarkable resilience in the face of advertising and the country has made commendable progress so far. The IMF Chief of Missions for Sri Lanka said this at a press conference held in Colombo recently.
The IMF team has been here since September 14th to conduct the first review under the Extended Fund Facility, EFF, arrangement here in Sri Lanka. During this time, we've held constructive and productive discussions with the authorities and other stakeholders, including the private sector and civil society organizations. The people of Sri Lanka have shown remarkable resilience in the face of enormous challenges. Sri Lanka has made commendable progress in implementing difficult but much needed reforms. These efforts are bearing fruit as the economy is showing tentative signs of stabilization. Inflation is down from a peak of 70% to today 1.3%, and gross international reserves increased by $1.5 billion between March and June this year, and shortages of essentials have eased. But full economic recovery is not yet assured. Growth momentum remains subdued, with real GDP contracting 3.1% in the second quarter this year on a year-on-year basis, and high-frequency economic indicators still sending mixed signals. Reserve accumulation has slowed in recent months.
Peter Brewer further said that in order for the IMF to disburse the second tranche to Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan authorities have to agree on adequate policy changes and ensure debt sustainability of the country.
For the IMF program to move to the next step of completing the first review and dispersing the second tranche, two important components are needed. One is to agree with the authorities on a set of policies that they can take forward to achieve the objectives, so that we can reach staff-level agreement for this first review, and we are very confident that we will be able to do that with a little bit more time to continue the discussions. And then the second leg that needs to be completed is the discussions on the debt. Essentially, what we need is a clear path towards restoring debt sustainability. For the IMF to be able to go ahead, it needs to convince itself that debt sustainability can be restored. And to do that, we need to convince ourselves that there are discussions, negotiations that will result in debt treatments that will essentially be in line with the debt targets that we had set.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the country's gross domestic product will reach break-even by the end of the year and the growth process will happen from the next year onwards. The President said this speaking at the convocation ceremony of Kotalawala Defence University on Wednesday.
After the experience of last year, we are now on the road to stability. It is not an easy road. Going from bankruptcy to stability is certainly not easy. You have to decide what you are going to have and what you are going to give up. You have to come again decide that you are solvent enough, decided not only by you, by your creditors. So we are going through that period. How do we increase our revenue? At the same time, how do we reduce inflation? Those are really two difficult objectives to do at the same time. So there are times when the economy looks good and your pockets are all right, and other times when things become difficult. We have to go through this period. We have to go through this uncertain phase. But as we go along, We are reducing inflation down to a single digit. We are we are increasing the performance of the economy, that we hope by end of this year, we will no longer be in deficit as the economy goes, as GDP goes. For the first time, we will break even. So 2024 will be the year we will restart growth. Till that, it's going to be difficult. As you restart growth also, life is not going to be easy. But it means we are now on the road to recovery.
Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, said that the government intends to enhance financial accountability and efficiency through the restructuring of the public sector. The minister said this during a conference held at the Ministry of Finance premises recently.
අපේ ප්‍රධාන බලාපොරොත්තුව තමයි රජය වශයෙන් විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ රාජ්‍ය ආයතන ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහගත කිරීමේදී කාර්යක්ෂමතාවය වර්ධනය කිරීම පළවෙනි කාරණාව. කාර්යක්ෂමතාවය වගේම මූල්‍ය විනය තබා ගැනීමත් ඒ වගේම සිදු කරන සේවය වඩාත් හොඳ සේවයක් බවට පරිවර්තනය කිරීමට ඒ අවශ්‍ය වැඩපිළිවෙල සකස් කිරීම තමයි රජයේ ප්‍රධානම අරමුණ බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. විශේෂයෙන්ම උතුම්නාසලා දන්නවා අපි මේ ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහගත කිරීමේ වැඩපිළිවෙලට ප්‍රවේශයක් ගන්න අපි රට එක්තරා ආකාරයක ආර්ථික වශයෙන් දුර්වලම වෙච්ච අවස්ථාවක. ඒක මේ අවස්ථාවේ සිදු කිරීමද වඩාත්ම ප්‍රායෝගික කියන එක පිළිබඳව අදහස් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. විවිධ මත තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් අපි ඉන්න ස්ථානයේ දිහා බැලුවම අපි මේ වර්තමානයේ සිදු වෙලා තියෙන තත්ත්වයන් දිහා බැලුවම සමහර වෙනස් වීම් ඒ ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහගත කිරීමේ කටයුතු සිදු කළ යුතු අතර මේ සමහරක් දේවල් අපි ආර්ථික අස්ථාවරභාවයක් එහෙම නැත්නම් ආර්ථික ව්‍යසනයට එන්න පෙර ක්‍රියාත්මක කළ යුතු ඒවා ඒ වගේම ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කළ යුතු ඒවා බවටත් සමහර ඒවා තියෙනවා.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Education Minister Dr. Susil Premajayantha says that the finance allocation for the country's education will be increased from the upcoming budget. Education Minister, addressing a function in school, recently added that the President has already nodded for the budget allocation for the education sector.
ඊළඟට අපි අධ්‍යාපනය ඩිජිටල් කරනවා. දැන් අද ලෝකයේ තාක්ෂණ යුගයට ගිහිල්ලා ඉවරයි. අපි ටිකක් පිටිපස්සෙන් ඉන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ලබන අවුරුද්ද මැද වෙනකොට උසස් පෙළ තිබෙන පාසල් 3000 ඩිජිටල් කරන්න ලක් කරන මේ වෙනකොට ඒ ආරමුදල් ලබා ගැනීමේ කටයුතු අපි කරගෙන යනවා. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා 2024 වර්ෂය අර පහුගිය කාලේ COVID-19ත් එක්ක වෙච්ච පසුබෑම නැවත සකස් කර ගන්නා වර්ෂයක් බවට අපි පරිවර්තනය කරනවා. ඊළඟට විෂයමාලා සංවර්ධනය වෙනවා. අපි බලනවා ප්‍රාථමික අංශයේ තියෙන පුළුවන් තරම් විභාග ප්‍රමාණය අඩු කරන්න. නේද? පන්ති කාමරේ ඉන්න ඕනේ. පාසල් එන්න ඕනේ දැන්. දැන් උසස් පෙළ යනකොට පාසල්වල පන්ති වල ළමයි නෑ. දැන් ඉස්සරහා ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණය හඳුන්වා දුන්නා මෙහෙම බෑ. පාසල් එන්න වෙනවා පාසලේ පන්ති කාමරේ කරන වැඩවලින් ලකුණු උපය ගන්න. අනිත් එක තමයි විභාගෙන් ගන්න. එහෙම තමයි ලෝකේ හැම රටකම තියෙන්නේ. ඒ විදිහට අපි වෙනස් කරා. ඊළඟට පාසල් වල විනය. අපි දන්නවා නාගරික ප්‍රදේශවල විවිධ ප්‍රශ්න මතුවුණා. ඉතින් අපි ඒවා විසඳුම් දීගෙන යනවා. අපි දැන් ඊළඟ සති කිහිපය තුළදී ලක්ෂ 8කට නොමිලේ පාහන් ලබා ගන්න වවුචර් පත් දෙනවා 3000 ගන්න. රුපියල් 3000 වවුචර් පත් ලබා ගන්න. ඒක අපි ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දට වැඩි කරා. ඒ වගේම ලබන වර්ෂය සඳහා ජනාධිපතිතුමා කිව්වා අධ්‍යාපනයට මුදල් වැඩි කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා කියලා.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena requested the Asian Development Bank to initiate new projects in renewable energy, digitalization and public transport systems focusing on railways. This request was made when the ADB country director called on the Prime Minister at the Temple Trees earlier this week.
The Prime Minister acknowledged the ADB's support provided to agriculture, rural, small and medium sectors and other development projects. The Prime Minister also thanked the ADB for extending support to Sri Lanka for economic stabilization after the unprecedented economic crisis. ADB Country Director Cardona briefed the Prime Minister about the ADB's mid-term and long-term projects for economic progress and infrastructure development. The ongoing projects cover the strengthening of financial management, fostering private sector development, improving access to public services. The projects further cover social protection, equitable access, health, climate and also agriculture modernization. He said that ADB Governing Board members will visit Sri Lanka to review the progress and inquire into the areas of future projects. Secretary to the Prime Minister Anura Dissanayake and ADB Deputy Country Director Utsav Kumar were also present at the discussion.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that social media has to either adhere to the law of each country they operate in or adhere to a common international law that will regulate it. President Wickremesinghe said this while speaking at a ceremony at the Presidential Secretariat on Tuesday.
මම දැන් අහන්නේ මොකක්ද අනාගතය කියලා. ඒකයි අපිට හිතන්න තියෙන්නේ. එදා තියෙන ඕනෑම මාධ්‍යයක් තමන්ගේ රටේ නීතියට යටත් වුණා. ඒ නීතියෙන් පාලනය වුණා. අද තියෙන ඔන්ලයින්, අද තියෙනවා සමාජ මාධ්‍ය. කාටවත් පාලනයක් නැහැ. ඒ අය කියන්නේ අපිට ඕන එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. ඒකේ දැන් විශාල ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. යුරෝපීය සංගමය අනික් රටවල් ගණනාවක් මේ රටවල් අපේ ලංකාවෙත් බලන්නේ කොහොමද මේ ඔන්ලයින් මාධ්‍ය කොහොමද පාලනයකට ගෙනියන්නේ. ඒ අය ලෑස්තිද ජාත්‍යන්තර ගිවිසුමකට එන්න නැත්නම් එක එක රටේ නීති වලට යටත් වෙනවද කියලා. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක බොහෝ දුරට තීරණය වෙන්නේ යුරෝපීය සංගමයෙන් සිදුවෙන දියුණුව පිළිබඳ. අනික් අතට මේක නිසා විශේෂයෙන්ම පුවත්පත් කලාවට ප්‍රශ්නයක්. මුද්‍රිත මාධ්‍යයට තමයි වැඩියෙන්ම වැදිලා තියෙන්නේ. අනික් අතට රූපවාහිනියටත් වැදිලා තියෙනවා. කොහොම හරි ගුවන් විදුලිය එකෙන් යම් කිසි වෙලාවක බේරලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේකෙන් පස්සේ මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? AI තියෙනවා නම් මේ කවුරුත් උවමනාද? කී දෙනෙක් උවමනාද පත්තර කන්තෝරුවකට මාධ්‍ය ආයතනයකට AI තියෙනවද? ඔය අපිට අහන්න තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද අනාගතයේ මේක හැදෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒ අතරතුරේදී මම හිතන්නේ මාධ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයේත් විශාල පරිවර්තනයක් සිදු වෙනවා.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Colombo University Vice Chancellor Senior Professor H.D. Karunaratne says that Sri Lanka is still not producing sufficient products to meet the demand by the tourists. Professor Karunaratne made these observations speaking at a function to announce the inauguration of Sustainable Tourism Unit at the Faculty of Arts at the University of Colombo.
Although the number of tourists coming or going, there are data issues with respect to that, but as an industry, the profitability has not generated with the par with other development level countries. Particularly the product what we produce for tourists is insufficient in Sri Lanka. Even we know, for example, souvenirs, how many souvenirs we are producing for Sri Lanka. For example, I always take that, compare the souvenirs selling in front of Sigiriya and compare the souvenirs selling in front of Mount Fuji in Japan. They're totally different. Industries are totally different. Products are totally different. And of course, not only that, of course, the human skill. So the issue is that you know how many tour guides in Sri Lanka are very much competent in alternative languages, only limited number. So we need to go for human resource development in this sector, the product development, entrepreneurship, and there are many activities which university can play a crucial role in future. That is why we wanted to separate the tourism, sustainable tourism unit from the Department of Economics. As we all are aware that the first professor in tourism in Sri Lanka is Professor Suranga Silva. So he has done marvelous contribution to develop this discipline in the University of Colombo.
Colombo University Vice Chancellor Senior Professor H.D. Karunaratne also says that the University of Colombo has also become an example, making a good database of Colombo area with green environment. He made these remarks to reveal about the digital tree inventory which is being maintained by the university since January last year.
University of Colombo adhere the Sustainable Development Goals in 2022. In line with that, this year, January 1st, we started maintaining digital tree inventory. When you walk down, you can see each and every tree is given a QR code, and you can see the day by day we are trying to go for digital as well as sustainability. So by maintaining digital tree inventory, we hope that the University of Colombo can contribute to the very good database of the Colombo area, this green environment, and we can analyze our contribution to the environmental protection in the Colombo area. There are many, many benefits with maintaining the digital tree inventory.
Sri Lanka's first athleisure apparel brand enhanced with innovative radio frequency identification technology was launched by popular physical trainer and online fitness coach Sarani Tilakaratne. The brand was officially launched at an event held in Colombo recently. The official website of fitness coach Sarani Tilakaratne, named Physique by Sari, was also launched during the event.
Through this groundbreaking technology, the purchasing experience has been made easier for consumers since the entire shopping cart could be scanned at one go due to the RFID threads installed in each item. The inventor of the RFID thread, Dr. Anura Ratnayaka, was also present and enlightened the crowd as to how the technology works, which was followed by a live demonstration. Speaking at the event, Dr. Ratnayaka also said that the apparel industry is responsible for the second highest amount of environmental pollution due to the lack of adequate ways to recycle them. The inventor went on to say that the radio frequency identification will act as a digital passport to garment items, hence making it easier to dispose of them. Dr. Ratnayaka also said that there is no risk of being able to track individuals by the clothes they are wearing, since the thread will not reveal any details of the individual unless there is insider information.
We thought to bring in athleisure wear to Sri Lanka, and Sampaio is ideally suited for any type of active individual, including professional athletes, fitness enthusiasts, casual athletes, or fashion-conscious individuals. The concept behind Sampaio is athletes at leisure, and the brand celebrates those who work out, idealize a healthy lifestyle, and applauds those who try.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.